I've never played Pokemon X and Y before, so I decided that I'm gonna try to beat it with just a COMBEE. Using my solo run rules, I'm only allowed to use COMBEE in battle. I can use other Pokemon for HMs, but I can't use them to fight. Oh, and I'm also using no items in battle. And if at any time my Pokemon faints, I have to use a rare candy to level it up. If I get to level 100 and faint at any point during the run is over. Will COMBEE defeat the Elite Four, or will he be defeated?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Let's find out. We begin our first foray in Kalos by meeting our friends and getting our loyal starter, our lovely COMBEE that we name Oranges. When changing the starters, I didn't specify the gender of the COMBEE, but honestly it's probably better that we get a male one, because I really don't want to have to cancel its evolution every time we level up, and using up the held item slot with an Everstone is going to be quite detrimental to our run. With Oranges the COMBEE in tow, we begin our run with our first of many rival battles, taking on Shauna and her Froakie. Right away, you might notice that our moveset is pretty subpar. Sweet Scent is basically useless. Thankfully, we also have Gust, which is pretty weak, but at least we have stab bonus on it. Any hope that I had of this run being easy evaporated with this first battle, as it became pretty obvious that COMBEE's stats are straight trash. We get taken out in 2 turns by Bubble. Technically, this isn't officially a whiteout because we don't get rushed to a Pokemon Center, so no forced level up is required here per my rule set, even though the extra level would probably be super useful right now. On Route 2, Oranges claims his first victory, taking out youngster Austin, proving that he can get the job done, right? Wrong. Oranges immediately takes an L to one of the trainers in Santa Lune Forest, since Gust isn't exactly a perfect move to deal with a Pikachu. After making our way back and taking out the Pikachu trainer on the second try, we make our way out of the forest and meet our friends on Route 3. We get our notebook telling us how to play the game, clear out the rest of the trainers in our way, and finally get to the location of the first gym, Santa Lune City. We then steal a girl's roller skates before sliding into the first gym challenge. Thankfully, the first gym is focused on bug-type Pokemon, so Oranges actually has the perfect move to deal with the bugs and cocoons that the gym trainers have. We even meet a member of Orange's colony. And now, time for the first big hurdle in the run. The first gym leader, Viola. Her lead, Surskit, is easily dealt with by a few Gusts, but we run into a bit of a wall with her Vivillon. Since it's also a bug flying type and it's a fully evolved Pokemon, the combo of Tackle and Infestation that she uses is pretty strong for our level 12 Oranges. We nearly beat her on our first attempt, but she uses a potion before we can take it out, and the damage over time from Infestation unfortunately knocks us out. On our next attempt, the Surskit proves that it isn't a slouch either, as since our Gust can only take it out in 3 turns, we take significant chunk damage from its bubbles and quick attacks, which means that although we never lose to Surskit, it still makes it pretty impossible to get past the much bulkier Vivillon. Upon getting to level 13, we gain access to Bug Bite, which won't be important for this fight but offers a bit more coverage in future battles. After a few more feints and a few more level ups, we just managed to take out Viola's team at level 16, only 4 levels above her ace Pokemon. Strap in, because it doesn't get less pathetic from here. As a result for beating her, Viola gives us the TM for Infestation, which would be a cool move for Oranges to learn if COMBEE could learn any TM or HM at all. We are going to be picking from a very small move pool for the rest of this run. And I'll mention later how I'm giving it a few moves it wouldn't even get normally in this generation, just so the run doesn't die insanely early on. Anyways, we leave Santa Lune victorious, heading down Route 4 and into Lumiose City. Before we can do anything else, we need to take on Professor Sycamore and his trio of Kanto starters. This, as with any other trainer with a fire Pokemon, proved to be pretty tough. Not only did Charmander's Ember deal massive damage to Oranges, but it kept using Smokescreen to lower my accuracy, which lowered my chances of winning even more. After a couple of attempts, we get past the Charmander and narrowly defeat the Squirtle, taking down the Professor and letting us pick a Kanto starter to put in the box and use for HMs if needed. We pick Squirtle, name him H-Employee 1, and put him in the box for now. After heading to the cafe to meet the guy who's definitely not a bad guy, as well as the champion, we are free to continue onto Route 5, where we meet Karina and her Lucario, as well as meeting up with Tierno and Trevor. As we head into a battle with Tierno, his Corphish really scares me a bit, as it has the move Swords Dance. However, it never actually uses it, instead choosing to go for weak Vice Grips that keep the battle close, but end with me taking the win over our rival. We then meet a horde of Scraggies that no doubt want to beat the absolute shit out of Oranges, so we get the hell out of there, finding ourselves in Camphor Town. We quickly check out Chabonneau Castle, hoping to learn more about Mega Evolution, but no luck. Nothing overly special happens in our trip to Perfume Palace, except for me learning that this game actually does have some pretty neat 3D scenes. And we get our weird little date with Shauna over with. After acquiring the means to wake Snorlax up, we head past it, taking on Trevor and Tierno in a multi-battle with Serena as our teammate. After the battle, realizing that we still only have 1 badge, I guess there's a lot of filler in this game, we head into Glittering Cave and and take a couple losses to Team Flare's super strong Pokemon, like Zubat and Gulpin. During these losses, this is where I decided on making a bit of an adjustment to Orange's learn set. In Pokemon X and Y, COMBEE can only learn Gust, Sweet Scent, Bug Bite, and Bug Buzz. Since these moves are obviously not going to cut it for later portions of the game, I allowed for the transfer-only moves that COMBEE can learn from Gen 4 move tutors. Since technically I could acquire this legally if I had the games and hardware, I decided I would allow these moves in this run, just so we could see how far little oranges can get. Because of this, our new moveset, and the best moveset we're going to have for the rest of the run, is Air Cutter, Ominous Wind, Swift, and Bug Buzz. Not great, but certainly a lot better than what we were running with earlier. With this buffed up moveset, we get through the rest of the cave, heading to Ambrette Town. We acquire an Amora that will be another H employee down the line, and quickly make our way to Sillage City to take on our second gym. Now, if you thought this run was pretty rough up until this point, you ain't seen nothing yet. Immediately upon starting this gym, full of rock types, we got a reality check. Rising Star Didier's Dwebble absolutely went to town on us with Rock Blast. The quad weakness, paired with COMBEE's paltry 42 base defense stat, was obviously not going to be enough for this fight. It became pretty clear that a COMBEE was not going to make it through this gym without a little bit of shenanigans. Normally in my solo runs, I don't make changes to a Pokemon's IVs unless there's a way to legitimately IV train a Pokemon, but this is a COMBEE in a rock gym. So we are going to build the perfect COMBEE out of oranges.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
We give him perfect IVs and a full competitive EV spread to maximize his special attack and speed. We need to be able to hit first and hit hard, since even maxed out HP or defenses won't be enough to save us from a hard-hitting fire or rock type Pokemon. We also boost oranges up to level 45, since we won't even come close to beating any of the gym trainers at any level lower than that, even with all of the enhancements we just gave them. We finally make it to Grant, the leader, and we still lose once. Thankfully, on the next run, we one-shot both of Grant's Pokemon, and we acquire the second gym badge at level 46. Yeah, man. Now out of the Sillage Gym, we let our juiced up oranges free, taking out every trainer on our way to Geosenge Town. As expected, our COMBEE is a little bit too strong for the run-of-the-mill trainers at this point, and oranges also makes quick work of the Karina battle at the edge of town. We then make our way through Reflection Cave fairly quickly and get to Shaller City. In the Tower of Mastery, we take on Serena again. I was a little worried about her breaks-in, but thankfully it just had Psybeam and Fire Spin, so we get through the battle without fainting. We can then take on the Shaller City Gym, which at first glance seems to be an easier time than the one we just came out of. Shaller's gym specializes in fighting type Pokemon, so our overpowered oranges is able to air cutter nearly everything in sight. Taking on gym leader Karina, we take out her Mienfoo with an air cutter, her Machoke with an air cutter, and her Lucha with 2 air cutters, taking home the third gym badge at level 49. We then engage in our only battle without oranges, taking out her Mega Lucario and earning our own free Lucario. What if I said no? Wait, I can say no? Well, anyways, bye. I can say no? Wait, for real? We then get another freebie, acquiring a Lapras that we'll be using to surf across Azure Bay. Not much of note happens until we get to Coumarine City, where we meet Sycamore and Diantha again, gaining access to Fly and taking the monorail to get to the next gym. A second Serena fight in like 15 minutes of gameplay means a second straight W, removing the last roadblock to enter the Coumarine Gym. This gym specializes in grass-type Pokemon, which means once again, oranges will be using Air Cutter a lot. Against the leader Ramos, we take out Jumpluff with Air Cutter easily. His Go-Goat tanks an Air Cutter, but we knock it out with a Bug Buzz. His final Pokemon, a Weepinbell, is also easily taken out with another Bug Buzz, and we acquire our 4th gym badge. One thing that I should mention is that we have an item that has helped Orange's survivability significantly since we received it. In Shaller City, we have access to gain the Eviolite. Honestly, without it, the run would already be over, so thankfully the Eviolite is available in this gen. Half the badges down, and we're halfway to level 100. Perfect pace, right? We get to the Kalos power plant to take on a bunch of Team Flare grunts. And while I was distracted by my Twitch chat, we never really had issues throughout this segment. However, this is the perfect time to mention that all of this run was done on my live stream, both on Twitch at @thereal_JP and on my TikTok. If you want to see what I'm up to at any point, I'm usually live 3 to 4 evenings a week around 8 to 10 p.m. Central, so come say hi. Anyways, we take on Aliana of Team Flare, taking out her Mightyana with ease, turning the power plant back on, and allowing us access to more of Lumiose City, which includes the gym, so we head back back there. Up against Clemont's team of electric-type Pokemon, we have a hard time. His lead Pokemon Emolga always uses Volt Switch, which while it doesn't knock us out, it does enough damage so that then we get knocked out by his Magneton's Thunderbolt. After a couple failures, we finally managed to get past his Magneton when the AI decided to be too swaggy and use electric terrain instead of the Thunderbolt. We then get to see his ace Heliolisk, which we take out with a critical hit Bug Buzz. The Emolga doesn't have enough health left to take another Bug Buzz, and we get past Clemont by pure luck at level 58. After the gym, we head out to Route 14, where Serena once again wants to fight. This battle is a lot worse than the last one against her, mainly because she now has a fully evolved Delphox that knows Mystical Fire. While we beat Delphox on the first try, Oranges simply didn't have enough health to take out her Absol. We get really lucky and take it out on the next attempt, and then take a quick detour to the scary house before heading to Laver City. Heading into the Laver gym, I felt pretty confident. I thought our huge level advantage was going to keep us in the fight, but then I figured out who Valerie's lead was. Yeah, Mawile kind of walls us, so I kept using Ominous Wind to both chunk it down and also maybe get an Omni boost from the move. Valerie's second Mon was Mr. Mime, which unfortunately set up a light screen every time we got to her. Even a resisted Psychic was too strong for Oranges, and we just couldn't break through the wall that was Mr. Mime. It takes a few resets, but eventually we get through the bulk of Mr. Mime, and then Valerie's Sylveon low rolls on its Dazzling Gleam, so we finally get the Fairy Badge at level 62. We clear out the Pokeball factory without many issues, defeating Celosia and Brioni with the help of Serena, before heading through Dendemil Town to get to Frost Cavern. Along the way, an extremely strong critical hit acrobatics by one of the Team Flare's Golbats knocks Oranges out, but we eventually defeat them and Mabel's Houndoom. With the Abomasnow saved, we head out of the cavern and make our way to Anastar City. Another city, another goddamn rival battle. The combo of Delphox with Serena's new Jolteon definitely messes with Oranges for a few attempts, but eventually he simply wills himself through it and we take down Serena at level 66. We then have the gym to take care of, which isn't too difficult because it's full of Psychic-type Pokemon. Using a combination of Ominous Wind and Bug Buzz, we managed to take down Gym Leader Olympia's Sigilyph, Slowking, and Meowstic, all in our first try. That's 7 badges down. After that, we learn that Lysandra isn't that good of a guy, and then we head over to battle him in his lab. And this, dear viewer, is the single hardest fight in the entire game for poor Oranges. Even 20 levels higher than most of his team. Oranges just couldn't break through Lysander's team of Mienfoo, Murkrow, Pyroar, and Gyarados. Mienfoo was easily taken care of by a single Air Cutter, but Lysander then led with Pyroar, who just seemingly never missed with his Fire Blasts. Additionally, because this male Pyroar had rivalry, he was hitting me with a 412.5 base power Fire Blast every turn. At our high level, combined with an Eviolite, Oranges was able to tank a single Fire Blast and could knock out the Murkrow in the next turn, but he just couldn't do enough to beat the Gyarados, and kept losing to either an Outrage or a super strong Aqua Tail. Over and over, I bashed this bee into Lysander's team, barely escaping insanity as we tried attempt after attempt to get past this point in the run. After nearly 2 hours of trying and around 20 attempts, we finally outspeed the Pyroar, critting our Air Cutter to knock it out before it can unleash a Fire Blast, which lets us take on Gyarados at full health. Oh my god. Let's fucking go, chat! Yes! Finally giving Oranges a win against Lysander at level 86. Not a lot of room left for failure for the rest of the run. Since Oranges has been juiced up to near legendary levels, we easily clear our way through the rest of Lysander Labs, meeting a very tall man, and then head towards the Team Flare HQ. Apparently not happy with ruining 20 of Orange's attempts, Lysander decides like Vince Carter that fuck it, I got one more in me, and his Pyroar blasts me again before I take his team out on my second try. We then clear our way through the rest of the HQ grunts, good lord, why are there so many filler fights here, before catching a super proud deer, who we name Canada. Lysander then wants his get back again, so we take him on, but unfortunately have to lead with Canada. In order to not invalidate our run, I spam Gravity on Xerneas until Lysander's Mienshao takes us out, and then bring in Oranges to Air Cutter the cat, Air Cutter the lion, Bug Buzz the bird, and Bug Buzz the aerial fish lizard dragon. With Lysander finally defeated, the Team Flare plotline is over, which means we can finally get our last gym badge. However, the professor wants to meet with us first, so we head to Koroway Town. Thankfully, this professor fight doesn't wall us as much as the previous one, so we quickly defeat him and then get on to Route 19, where we need to take on a bunch more of our rivals. We take out Shauna and her scary Greninja, Tierno and his dancing Pokemon, and then Trevor's very scary team of Raichu, Aerodactyl, and Florges, although he kind of choked near the end. For some reason, this game has the longest split before I get to fight this gym of all time, so I need to go all the way through Route 20 to get to the Pokemon Village and bring back leader Wolfric to the Snowbell City gym. Once we used our massive brain to get through the Rubik's Cube of a gym, and losing to a couple gym trainers along the way, including by the hands of a sentient ice cream cone, we finally got to take on the final gym leader. Oranges manages to one-shot Wolfric's lead Abomasnow with a Bug Buzz. Then we take out the Cryogonal with 2 more buzzes despite being confused. At the Ace Avalugg, we leave it with just a sliver of health before getting absolutely mollywopped by a hail-boosted Avalanche. However, with our level up on our second attempt, we get through the final gym cleanly at level 93, leaving just Victory Road and the Elite Four ahead of us, with only 7 feints left until the run is over. Heading on to Route 21, we managed to get past the first few trainers and the strength puzzles with ease, but our aspirations of seeing the Pokemon League falter when we realize there is one rival battle remaining, the final fight against Serena. Since we're already at level 97 due to all the fights we've had up to this point, we can only feint 3 more times safely before the run is failed. And Serena's team is no joke. We can easily take out her lead Meowstic with Bug Buzz, but her Delphox does insane damage with Flamethrower. Even though it can't take us out, the fact that she has 3 other Pokemon that I can't one-shot really leave me hooped. At this point, the only way to do this is to retool Orange's EV spread. Left at level 100 and with no other option, we do a little tinkering. We lower our speed EVs so that we just barely outspeed her whole team, and reinvest those extra EVs into more bulk, to hopefully be able to tank the chip damage that her Jolteon, Altaria, and Absol will hit us with, while still keeping our special attack as high as possible in order to maximize damage. As we step into our potential last battle of the run, I take a deep breath. You got this, Oranges. Meowstic still goes down in 1 hit to Bug Buzz, but we take a little bit of damage due to Fake Out. Delphox comes out, and our new bulk is noticeable, as we only take 104 damage, which is still awful. At least we don't get burned. Jolteon comes in next, but we outspeed and crit with Bug Buzz to take it out before we get hit by a discharge. Altaria is next, and we deal around 40% damage with Air Cutter. We managed to tank 2 Dragon Pulses while taking out the big bulky bird, and now only Absol is between us and victory. This Absol has Quick Attack, which could crit and knock us out, but it doesn't go for it, and we outspeed with a Bug Buzz and take out Serena. Oranges could still be a champion. We managed to take out every trainer in Cave 3 and Grove 4, and get into the last cave before the Pokemon League. We're so close that I can almost see Oranges hovering all alone in the Hall of Fame. I believe that. Or not. RIP to Oranges. He was the best of us. Honestly, I probably could have retooled my EV spreads again to max out our defense instead of Spadef, but I didn't want to do that for every fight. And honestly, I don't think we were getting much farther than this. COMBEE was a hero for getting even this far, and I hope he rests well as a guardian of the last step before the Pokemon League. And thus concludes our Solomon Challenge run of Pokemon X with just Oranges the COMBEE. If you guys have stuck around the whole time to watch this video, thank you so much. As mentioned before, the entire run was streamed live, both on my Twitch and TikTok streams, which can be found in the description. This was the first time I've tried doing long-form content, so I really hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you'd like to see something else like this in the future. Until next time, keep Oranges in your thoughts. I'm out of here. See ya.